everyone, welcome to 4sides with me Anjali. Yet another coup in Africa, this time it is one of the important allies of the West Niger. The soldiers in the West African country of Niger have announced a coup on national TV. They announced dissolution of constitution, suspension of institutions and closure of borders. President Mohamed is held by the presidential guard. His whereabouts are unknown, but he tweeted saying, hard-won gains will be safeguarded and that Nigerians who love democracy will see to it. Foreign Minister Hassaumi Massadau has declared himself the head of state and called on all Democrats to make this adventure fail. West is keen that this coup fails. President Mohamed received calls from US assuring him of support and United Nations too has offered to stand by him. Why is failure of this coup crucial for the West? With increasing coups, is democracy on a decline in Africa? Here's a special report. Many months ago, there was an article on BBC about the increasing incident of military coups in Africa. Looking back into recent past, the West African country of Burkina Faso's President Roch Marc Christina Kabore was ousted by the military and Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sagogo Damiba became the new man in power. The country was dealing with jihadist insurgency which only became worse, and eventually there was a clampdown of media and attacks on civilians among other things that the country is dealing with post-takeover. The neighboring Mali, Guinea and Chad in the region have also been successful coups. In Chad, when their leader died in April 2021, his son was installed as interim president and there was a military council he was leading. It was termed dynastic coup. There are some military heads who have taken over the governments but denied it's a coup. A research identified at least 200 such attempts in Africa from 1950 and at least half of them have been successful. African countries are more susceptible to a coup due to their economic instabilities and poverty. However, a coup is always bad news and often leads to more instability. According to the report in 2021, there was at least 6 coup attempts in Africa and 4 of them have been successful. There were attempts of coup in Niger and Sudan as well that were not successful until Sudan's Omar al-Bashir fell to military in 2019 and now it's Niger's government's turn. Niger, which is fact shares a border with Burkina Faso, saw its president removed from power. There were a group of soldiers on the national television of Niger who announced that the constitution has been dissolved and the country's borders are closed. The presidential guards in Niger have seized President Mohamed and blocked his residence and key ministries. There are protests in the country as crowds came onto roads in support of president. Meanwhile, the army and the National Guard are ready to attack. The president's office tweeted on his well-being, and it is believed that the attempts are being made to resolve the matter through talks. This could be yet another attempted coup, and the outcome is awaited eagerly. Post the coups in Mali and Burkina Faso and the fallout of their military leaders with France, the former colonial power in the region, Niger is the key to France and the Western nations. Niger is important as much for its mineral reserves as it is for one of key ally in the region that is historically known for its close ties with North Korea. Not to mention its involvement in fighting insurgency, President Bazoum is indeed a key ally who cannot be lost to a coup. So the West is expected to put its might behind the democratically elected leader. As more and more countries in the African continent are being added to the list of military-ruled nations, it is cause of concern for world leaders and United Nations in particular. Time and again, we have seen that contrary to claims of bringing in development, military rule has often been detrimental to peace and dignity of human lives. In Africa itself, coups have been very unpopular as people continue to demand for their democratic rights despite military rule in many countries. Thank you for watching 4sides with me, Anjali.